Hello and good evening. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you because now you are a Toastmaster, which means that you have decided to be an effective communicator and a better leader. So once you join a Toastmaster, let's talk about what are the roles that you are going to perform as a speaker or as a leader. So here, as per the Toastmasters manual, it says a Toastmaster wears many hats. So let's dive in and see what are the roles that you are going to perform when you are a Toastmaster. So the first thing first, when you are a speaker, the number one point which is very crucial is prepare and research. Without preparation, you cannot perform the best way you should. So first thing first is preparation and rehearse. Request for a slot from VPE. VPE is your Vice President Education, to whom you can approach once you decide that you are going to present a talk and you're going to present your speech. You have to talk to the VPE and say that on this particular date, I want to present my talk. Contact your evaluator and hand over the evaluation sheet to her or him. One more important thing is that you have to see on the agenda that who is going to evaluate your speech. Once you see that someone is the evaluator, you have to contact the person and tell that this is my evaluation sheet. Send WhatsApp or email, whatever the mechanism you use, but it's very important. We ignore it, we delay it, and what happens, it is not because you will not get an evaluation. You will get an evaluator, you will get evaluation of your speech, but that will be in haste. If you send the evaluation sheet beforehand, the evaluator will also be ready. And if you have any particular area that you want to improve, you can tell the evaluator, and accordingly that evaluator will evaluate you, and that would be more beneficial than if it is happening in haste. Arrive before time. So nowadays we are meeting on Zoom, and it is always better to come on Zoom meeting 15 minutes before or 10 minutes before, so that you can also be familiar with the audience, with the people that you are seeing them on the virtual platform. Deliver your speech. Of course, if you are prepared, you have shared your evaluation sheet with the evaluator, you have come on the stage, and now you just need to deliver your speech. Request evaluation sheet from your evaluator. So once the evaluation session has been done and your evaluator has evaluated your speech, has submitted the verbal evaluation, you should ask for the written evaluation as well. What will happen, you can have a record of that evaluation, and you can come back later on after a month, 2 months, or 3 months. You can always go back and see that what that evaluator has told you and whether you are implementing or not. So that's very good record. For that matter, you can ask the written evaluation as well. Request other members also for their feedback. So this is something which the Toastmaster of the day does, and request all the participants and the audience to give their feedback as well to the speaker. But you can also request all other sitting guests or the audience that they should also be open to give their feedback after a speech. All right, so now let's move to the next slide and say now you are an evaluator. Communicate with the speaker. Approach the speaker and say that I am the evaluator of your speech during the next meeting. Go through the evaluation sheet. So once the evaluation sheet has been shared by the speaker, you should go through it, read it, and you should know that what you're going to do. Record your impression while the speaker is on stage. So on this, when the speaker is on a stage, virtual stage, of course, nowadays we are meeting on Zoom, note down the points. I would not recommend you to write the entire thing and just keep writing and writing. Then you will not be focused on other parts of the speech. So make notes, whatever you're just an observer. So from your perspective, from your point of view, whatever you are feeling, seeing, and experiencing as per the evaluation sheet's requirement, make note of it, encourage and motivate. So this part is once you have noted down all the points, and now you are on a stage and giving your feedback. So always try to encourage and motivate. You're not here to judge someone. You're not here as a senior or as a teacher or someone to find the weaknesses of a person, but you are here to encourage and uplift and empower the speaker who has come on a stage. And you are here to evaluate this or that particular speech only. You're not evaluating the speaker, but the speech. So always try to adapt this attitude of encouraging and motivating the member. Avoid using notes while giving verbal evaluation. This is going to help you in many ways. If you're using note, you will build a bad habit, I would say, and it will not help you when you are in contest or you are a panelist or you are a panel moderator. So avoid using notes as much as you can. Put points or remember the points in your mind and structure your evaluation as you are delivering a speech, a full speech of 2 to 3 minutes, because the timing for evaluation is 3 minutes and 30 seconds as well grace period. So try to deliver a speech, well and constructed speech as evaluation and avoid using notes in that. Hand over the written evaluation with encouragement and congratulations. So as I said in the earlier slides that the speaker should request, but if the speaker has not requested you, it doesn't mean you shouldn't give your evaluation sheet back to the speaker. You can also give the evaluation sheet back to the speaker, send a WhatsApp message or email, whatever mechanism you like to choose. All right. So now let's move to the next slide. The next slide says you are the timer. Timer role is one of the most important roles in Toastmasters. You are the backbone of any meeting. Without you, a speaker or the entire meeting cannot run very well. So this is a very important role. Check on the agenda and contact the VP Education or the TMOD. If you have the agenda in front of you, you know that when to show green light or amber light or red light. Learn how to use virtual timing mechanism. Nowadays, it is very, very important to know all these things, because if you are not aware of how to use the virtual timing mechanism nowadays, it will be a big mess. Listen carefully. As a timer, you're not only managing the time, but you're also developing the habit of listening. You are listening to the speakers or whoever is performing on a stage very carefully, and you're improving your listening skills in this role. Note down the names of speakers and exact timing. So you should have a sheet. There are some already available on Toastmasters website, toastmasters.org. You can download from there, or you can ask the VP Education to send you a timer note, or you can have a soft copy editable that you can edit if you like, or you just have a pen and a notebook to write the names, all the speakers, how much time they used while delivering their speeches. Submit the timing report with confidence. Here comes the time when you have a chance to speak. We understand that timing is a silent role, but it is not. It also gives you chance to speak. In Toastmasters, all roles have speaking ability and roles as well. So as a timer, in the beginning, the TMOD asks you to introduce your role. And that comes the time when you have a chance to speak up with confidence. You have to tell what role you are performing. You have to tell how you are going to perform and how you're going to use the mechanism. So there is a chance to speak. While you are submitting your report, there is a chance to speak, because you are telling how you manage the time and how much time each and every role player on stage has used it, and whether they were in time or they were out of time. All right, hand over the record to the club secretary. So once you have done your role, you have noted down and recorded everything, you can send a copy, a soft copy nowadays, to the secretary of the club as well. So let's move now to the next slide and let's see what comes next. The next is Table Topic Master. As a Table Topic Master, you are going to select different topics as per the agenda, it is better to align with the agenda so people have an idea that you are going to ask. So they should have a rough idea that maybe your questions will be very much aligned with the theme of the Toastmaster of the day. So here, as I said, this is another role where you have a chance to speak. So explain your role. Whatever roles you are taking in Toastmasters, always try to explain it with confidence. And for that, you need to be prepared. For that, you have to rehearse and have all the resources available. Select the topics related to the theme of the meeting. As I said, have a list of all role players to invite those who don't have any roles. Have a list of all role players to invite those who don't have roles. This is very important, and that's why I repeated it. As a table topic master, first of all, you have to see on the agenda that how much time you have been given. And in that timing, you have to call the speakers who don't have a speaking role. So avoid inviting someone who has already done a role and who has a speaking role. Yes, for example, you can call the first speaker someone who has experience, someone who can demonstrate the role very well, someone who can speak on the first very topic that you are giving to the speaker, so that the guests who are there in the meeting or who have joined for the first time, they will have an idea that how to perform the role. So one person can be, but always try to give the role to someone who have not spoken, especially the guest. Encourage participants to use WOD, which means word of the day. During your table topic session, try to use yourself word of the day. That would give that would boost actually the energy of the word master who has selected a word, and it will remind other members also to use the word of the day. Be creative. In creation, you can be whatever ideas you like. So be as much creative as much you can. And there are so many nowadays ways of presentation. How you are presenting your session, it depends entirely on you. You can simply come on a stage and bring all the topics, introduce your role, and then one by one, you can invite the audience and members and ask them a question. The way you have to ask is the name of the person, the topic, repeat the topic, and the name of the person. You can also be creative by putting a presentation. With a PowerPoint, you can share the slide and you can ask them to choose a number. And according to the number they have selected, you can show on the screen the topic. After a while, you can hide it because the topic is not going to be on the screen all the time, because this is not the idea. The idea behind table topic session is you have to speak impromptu without preparation on any given topic into 2.5 minutes. So the minimum timing for table topic is 1 minute and the maximum is 2 minutes and 30 grace seconds period. So be creative as much as you can. Adjust the number of questions as per the time allotted for the session. As I mentioned before, you have to stick with the time. We have seen so many other table topic masters, particularly, they do not care about the agenda. They do not care about the timing. And that's why the entire meeting gets delayed, which is not a good habit. All right. So this slide is going to explain when you are a table topic speaker. So suppose you are a guest or audience and the table topic master has just invited you. So first thing is be excited. This is the chance to speak up. It is your time. On a stage you are for 2.5 minutes. Utilize it. Express yourself. Whatever comes to your mind, you can express yourself the best way you can. And remember 6 honest man. What, why, when, how, where, and who. So this is one of the tricks, I would say, one of the ways you can encounter the table topic master's question. Otherwise, there are so many other ways you can express yourself. Know when to stop. Like you have to know the timing. You should not speak more than the timing you have been given. The idea is to present yourself in the best way you can within the time frame. Share your experience, which means if you are not able to encountering the question of table topic master can be done as before said with 6 honest men which say what, why, when, how, where, and how, and who. But also you can share your experience. Always try to, what I have noticed and experienced is always try to personalize and share your stories before bringing any third person or any incident or someone else's things. Always try to find something within yourself. Something has happened with you, something is happening with you, or something may happen with you. So once you personalize the speech, that would be more admirable, that would be more genuine, and that would sound more professional, and you will get a good score as well. Just speak. The best idea is whenever you have been called on a stage in table topic session, avoid being silent. Try to say anything, whatever comes to your mind. All right, so let's move to the next slide. General evaluator. The general evaluator is someone who evaluates the entire meeting from the beginning till the end. This is someone who notes down all the activities during the meeting, and at the end of the meeting, he submits his report. So check on the agenda. So the best way to be prepared for this role is stick to the agenda, look at one role player, and then submit your evaluation. Present a brief talk for the benefits of the guest. So if you are a general evaluator, what I suggest or what I do is always encourage guests to join the club to know the benefits of being a member. So you can give a brief talk about how Toastmasters as a whole benefits each and everyone who becomes a member, because being guest is just, the tip of the entire education system. To dive in and to learn more, you have to be part of it. Take notes of everything that happens during the meeting, which is very clear. If prompted to conduct the evaluation session, do so, which means Toastmaster of the day is there to host and design and present all the meeting. But if you want to help the Toastmaster of the day, you can take the half session till after the table topic session, and you can take the whole of entire session. You can be the host, which when I joined Toastmasters back in 2015, we were doing so. So if even nowadays you can do this practice, but you have to speak with the Toastmaster of the day that he can or she can host the half of the meeting, and you can put yourself from table topic sessions. Once the table topic session ends, you can volunteer yourself and you conduct the entire session. Give your general evaluation based on the notes taken during the meeting. So obviously you have taken the notes, and now you are just verbally, you are submitting your report. Keep your evaluation positive, motivating, and encouraging. The main idea behind any evaluation part, there are two types of evaluators. One is the speakers evaluators and the general evaluator. So always try to be positive and motivate and encourage. Do not be so critical that it may give a wrong impression to especially guests, because there might be certain things that you are not aware. The reason why something has happened, maybe you do not know. So instead of highlighting those areas during your verbal evaluation, try to avoid those areas. And you can privately, you can talk to the ExCom, the president, and you can mention that particular thing. But during your verbal evaluation, I would suggest to be positive, encouraging, and motivating. Identify the challenges and offer the solutions. So if you are finding something really challenging in a meeting, you can You can give your advice, you can advise them the best way you can, but with a solution. So if you have something to share and you have the solution, be open to that and give your ideas. All right. So let's move to the next slide and let's see what comes. Finally, you are the Toastmaster of the day, which means you are the host. The entire session is going to be handled by you only. And it has a lot to do. It takes a lot of courage, dedication, and hard work to be the Toastmaster of the day. So coordinate and conduct the meeting. First thing first, before the actual meeting happens, you have to coordinate with all the role players, the prepared speakers, timers, grammarians, general evaluators, each and everyone. I believe that the VP Education or the president or any from the XCOM, mainly from the top, they would help you, but it is your primarily duty to coordinate with all the role players. Communicate with all the role players, prepare a theme for the meeting. Toastmaster of the day is the one who brings a theme for the meeting. And according to theme, he has or she has to speak during the entire meeting. Preside the meeting with energy and enthusiasm. One of the most important things is that you are the host and everyone in this audience sitting on the virtual or physical meeting are the guest. And suppose you are the pilot, you are running the entire meeting, running the entire show. So you have to be energetic. The more you are energetic, the audience, it will go through the audience as well. So be energetic and be enthusiastic about the entire meeting. You are the pilot of the meeting, take care of your passengers, obviously. So invite the role players with the best introduction you can. It is very, very important not to read loud the introduction. Every role player, I believe that they have given you their introduction. If not, you have to ask them. Even if they have not given you, you have to choose some words, phrases, sentences that may boost their energy and confidence. This is your time to show their skills, that how you encourage different role players, how you encourage each and everyone with being so much creative. You cannot use the similar adjective for each and every one. Keep checking on the timing. You have to stick with the timing. You can check with the timer that whether the meeting is running well within the time frame. Present your final thoughts on theme. So as a Toastmaster of the day, you come in the beginning and you come at the end. And during the entire meeting, what I would suggest not to speak a lot about your theme. That would take some time from the other speakers. Remember that you are a host, they are the performers, and give them time to perform well. So in the beginning, you have shared your ideas about the theme, and then in the end, you can submit your conclusion with a takeaway message. Present awards. According to the manual, it says that the Toastmaster of the day should present the award, and I suggest yes, because you are like the master of ceremony. You just talk to the president, whether you do it or the president does it. Doesn't matter really, but I think you should present the award as well. The next slide is about grammarian and accounter. As a grammarian, your role is to check out grammar, simply. Many of members that I know, they're not native English speakers, and we need someone to check on grammar, even if they're native speakers. We need someone to see the usage of words, vocabularies, word of the day. And in this role, you're going to develop few skills that I have experienced. One of the things is you're going to improve your listening skills. You are going to be a better panelist. You are going to be a better general evaluator or an evaluator, because all the time you have to be an attentive listener, and the audience would expect you to report a complete report, and they would admire that if you have not missed some points, because even someone is not the grammarian, but they all will notice grammatical errors as well. And it does not only mean that you have to bring all the wrong usage or misuses of the language. You have to also check that if someone has used good expressions or proverbs, adjectives, quotes, anything. All right. So introduce the word of the day. As a grammarian, it is the responsibility of the grammarian to introduce word of the day. But nowadays we have many clubs have given this role to two people. One introduces the word of the day, and what does the grammarian, which is really good. It gives two members equal chance to speak. Prepare a brief introduction about your duties. So as all the role players have introduced themselves, you are also there to introduce your role. Display the word of the day. As a grammarian, if you have selected the word of the day, you have to display it. The best way is to prepare a PowerPoint, which you can show to the audience, and then posting those words and reminding people during the meeting in either chatting inbox if you are meeting virtually, or if you are physical, then you have to bring few papers and stick to the walls or lectern or the stage or wherever, which can be seen easily by the audience. Encourage members to use the word of the day. While you are presenting the word of the day, you can request all the members to use it as much as they can, and you can note down the names, who has used how many times, note down the usage of the word during the meeting, and filler words such as grammarian, it is also your responsibility to be the counter. And counter means that people use a lot of filler words, which are like, I mean, okay, so, etc., etc. So even you can do so to tell that someone has used this, because it is not a good habit as a public speaker to use a lot of and words. So you can also be the counter, or it depends on the club if someone separately has been given the chance to note down all the filler words. When asked to submit the report, do so as grammarian or as a counter. So at the end of the meeting, obviously the Toastmaster of the day will invite you on a stage to present your report. So you have to submit your report with. All right, so that's all so far. All right, so thank you so much for listening to entire session. These are the pathways learning you all know. So keep visiting toastmasters.org website, keep learning, keep going to the resources that are available. All right, and thank you so much for listening to this recording.